I'm here with the Mini Cooper Countryman John Cooper Works ED edition, which sounds like something you might need medication for if you're a man, which is weird. I always think it's funny, like a lot of German companies, especially, although this is a British car with a German mother. I know the smart cars were called ED as well. This is the S trim, so we'll talk about that a little bit in the drive review and some of the performance stuff. And this has a lot of John Cooper Works components and items on it. So just getting right into it now. I really like the front. I like the LEDs. Simple, elegant design. It seems very similar in proportion and size and stuff to like an X3. A lot of BMW shared components. The German mother is the BMW on this car, and you'll see that a lot. LED fog lights, things like that down there. I really like the rims, and all this yellow is ED, which is like plug-in hybrid, essentially, specific. All four, which is their way of saying all-wheel drive, on there as well. I like these body panels, especially in this sort of darker color, like a black. Sorry it's dirty. I've actually been enjoying it this week. Took my dog out in it. I've been using it as you'd use an SUV. Coming around the back, more badging there, or electric vehicle. Again, the S trim, and really like the LEDs back here. They look very nice, very elegant. Power liftgate. Let's just lift that now that we're back here and check out the storage, things like that. On here, so electronic vehicle charger, because it'll go about around 15 miles. And then under this area here, normally you get a lot of space. I think this is the battery, correct me if I'm wrong. This is just like a little extra storage area, which is nice, things like that. If you're wondering where the subwoofer is, because it's a BMW derived product, they're both under the seats. We'll talk about those seats in a little bit too. Let's see with this folded down how the storage space is. I'm finding one kind of area of improvement on here already. One is those John Cooper Works seats. The other is there doesn't seem to be a way to fold these seats down from back here. Any owners can tell me. Am I just missing it? Usually there's a lever or latch here or something here. It's a little tricky on here. So there's this, you pull that up. Sorry for the pet hair. Like I said, I took the dog out. So yeah, you fold that down and can't get a ski pass through. Not seeing, okay, and then there's little pulls here. So that's actually kind of clever. I just wish, it was done from back there. Let me show you with those down. So not too crazy good storage with them up. It's still pretty good by small SUV standards, but with them down, wow, you really go deep down in there, which is cool. And then of course, like I said, those are the chargers, and of course with the power, you can close this. It closes pretty quickly. I bemoan a lot with the ones that go and take like 20 years to go down. Let's check out that engine and hybrid drivetrain on here. So it's got the traditional BMW 2X. Again, we were up at the lake off-roading. Really have put this car through the paces, the all-wheel drive, the practicality this week, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later on. Let us grab this up. I do like this mini badge here. It's actually textured. Very good quality product. I'll also show you at night what those do, which is pretty cool. 20 minutes later, I will be right back with you. So that's kind of interesting. I was looking for the release, but you pull it 2X in there, as you saw, and then you don't even have to do a secondary release up here. That's kind of cool and kind of interesting. So yeah, there's the little engine. I'd pull the cover off, but I'm sure even under the cover, not too much to look at. I believe this is a BMW sourced engine. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Good power numbers, air intake. What I don't see is, at least visually apparent, is the electronic drive module on this guy. And I think that's because unlike a lot of cars that are rear wheel drive and then the electric drives the front or whatever, this engine's driving the front and charging the battery, and then I think the electric engine is driving the rear wheels to give it that all-wheel drive kind of feel. That's kind of neat. Nice hood, nice bonnet on here. I kind of like this look. It looks pretty cool. I was at a car show and put this up, and people were just kind of intrigued. Why does your engine have ED? Why does this mini engine look like a BMW engine? So many questions, so much good stuff. That's kind of interesting. I think this is... Anyone know what this is who's more mechanical than I am? At first it looks like a satellite radio antenna, but they wouldn't put that under here. What is this? And it's got two wires coming off it. Very interesting. Always intrigued by engines. Very clean, very nice package. Let's go check out that interior, shall we? Look, the battery, which should be around 15, 20 miles of, driving, which is plenty for most people's commute around town. How do you recharge it? There's these electronic drive badges over everywhere. So you just throw it in there, you put it in, you have it in your garage, you put it in there. I have this stupid Tesla here. Don't worry about that. Charges up overnight, even on just like a regular old school slow power plug, which is cool. And see how it is inside. The interior of this guy is a nice place to spend time. The Harman Kardon system has no Logic 7 processing. The speakers are good. The subwoofers under the seats are good and stuff. 2 speakers here, sounds pretty good. Center channel speaker there, you know, sounds pretty good. Let me get this radar detector out of the way. It's kind of blocking things. You know, nice gauges, very, that round theme just continues throughout this car. And this is actually pretty cool looking and functional, this LED, these lights around here. And then of course more round themed deals down here. I do like all the buttons on here. Everything is like controlled by like, it's almost like an old fighter jet. It's a very Mini-esque, very British kind of feeling thing. I'm gonna stop pressing these before I break something. I called the telematics people earlier. They told me, I didn't press the SOS one. They told me some cool stories. I always like to do that on press cars. Kind of a pano roof here. You know, very nice. It goes through to the back. We'll talk about legroom in the back. These seats are definitely an area of improvement. I would skip this option. They're not power seats, which I'm actually okay with. And they have this thick bolstering, which I like, but man, they're just not the most comfortable seats in the world. They're kind of like racing seats because they are from John Cooper Works, but in an SUV. Do love this ambient orange lighting here. There's a lot of that. You know, you see various places and things like that. Again, more of these buttons. These adjust your drive, electronic drive mode if you have the hybrid. Seaters. Everything's very easy to use. Your start stop. I would say button, but it's more of a switch or a toggle. Your stability control, and of course more of your drive mode, sport, things like that. This screen here is very intuitive because it's both a touch screen, which I've always loved about BMW, right? And you can put your mini driver in here, which of the 3 mini drivers you are. Very intuitive, and you get this knob down here, so you can control it with the knob, or you can just touch wherever you want, which is really cool. It's a good screen. Also wireless CarPlay on perhaps Android Auto. I only know about the CarPlay on this guy. Again, this round theme is just everywhere. And like, for example, say you're listening to the radio, so that becomes that. Over here, so you're not listening to the radio, that's your fuel gauge, I believe. I haven't quite figured it out, but that seems to match your fuel gauge. And then of course, you can keep an eye on, let me close the door here so we can get more info. You can keep an eye on like your battery charge state, how much range you have, and then of course there's how much electric range you have, which right now is none. 27.7 is abysmal. This car does a lot better than that, but I drive these cars like they're stolen or rental cars or press cars, as the case may be. Again, but the 30.7 kilowatt hour, miles per kilowatt hour isn't like too crazy. Again, I drive it in sport mode to test out the performance and stuff. I can attest when I was driving it gently, this does get the stated numbers. This is a very simple, elegant, easy to use. This is all using electric power. This is your in the engine, and then this is also you're getting the engine plus e-boost or electric power. This is your regenerative braking is charging things. Nice gauges up to 160 here. Very simple, very elegant. Again, the telematics on here, God, I do not love this clock though. Just like put a little real clock. It would cost you guys like $10 probably, instead of doing that fake clock. I'm sure you can turn that off. Good at navigation, good backup camera. A couple of things I was surprised at the price of this car. These start at a certain level and then go all the way up to very high. There was no smart cruise control available. There was no blind spot monitoring, at least optioned on here. And again, you may be able to get smart cruise control, you may be able to get blind spot monitoring, but at the 40, I think 46 or whatever this car was. Let's go find out together, shall we? I was kind of surprised they did an option. Yeah, 45.7. A lot of stuff I'd skip, like the Sport Edition package is a great deal. Look at all that stuff you get there. I would definitely get that for $2,900. The nav package, $1,700. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd probably skip the John Cooper Works appearance package. It doesn't give you any extra performance. It does look cool though. And then where are those seats? There we go. I would skip those. I thought for a second there they were charging you for refrigerant, but that's an exterior package, whatever that means. And then the special edition on this guy. Yeah, I believe you do get a tax credit though, because it is a plug-in hybrid. I like this, that like BMW 3 years 36 maintenance free. There's some fuel economy numbers, things like that. Let's see, one thing I thought was very interesting, this was a Japanese transmission, German engine, built in the Netherlands by a British company. So I thought that was kind of interesting here. Things like that, and then sold to BMW North America. This is a very BMW-esque car. I say that because as we finish up the interior here, which is a nice place, nothing too crazy. Again, the round theme is everywhere. It's very fun, it's very funky, things like that. But you know, USB charger here, and in the back, you can put your radar detector. I do like this. Check out the pattern and texture in there. Very nice Mini S Cooper touches. Like, this is very nice. Like, there's a lot of BMW stuff in there, but then they've kept it very mini. This is an optional wireless phone charger. Otherwise, you just get a nice console there. And then you can, of course, pull this up, have all this extra storage down here, an extra USB as well there. Let's go check out that back seat. While we're on our way to do that, though, I thought I'd show you. You think it would say manufactured by Mini Cooper, right? But BMW Korean motor works, but maybe the translation is that. So yeah, check out that back, see if I have leg room. We'll just go over there because I don't feel like folding those seats up right now, and don't take a lot of people around in this car. You can though. So just under 6 feet, I could fit up there. The space is actually pretty impressive on here. 2 6-feet people could fit. Again, these look cool in the seats. Again, these seats just with the no power, and they don't have lumbar, active lumbar support either. So not the most comfortable. I do like those pedals down there. I always usually do these from back here on like cars because just I need the space, but today I did it from up there, a little different. You can see where the speaker is in there. Again, this is a pretty good sound system. I would recommend optioning it. On there, again, you get more ambient mood lighting here. You get some John Cooper Works badges down there. Sorry for all the pet hair. Again, I need to vacuum this car. Well, they detail and vacuum them before they bring them to the next person. 2 more speakers in there. And then, like I said, under there's more ambient lighting, and there's 2 subwoofers, 1 under each seat, which gives it a great bass effect. They really were clever in how they carved this out. The car is getting mad at me now, so let's go ahead and take it on the drive review. I'll just very quickly show you that pano roof. That's very nice. This is a very nice vehicle if you skipped, you know, about 3 to 4 grand of those options. It's very well priced, very competitive. Things like that, little vents down there. Let me know any other questions you have about the back. Good headroom. You know, just a nice place to spend time. To be sure, LEDs there, ambient lighting there, things like that. All right, let's go back before the car, you know, has a heart attack. All right, so the ever important, at the very end of this video, I'll tell you how this compares to the competitors, which there really aren't too many, especially if you count the plug-in hybrid version of this. If you don't count the plug-in hybrid, there are some more competitors and things like that. Then also the would I buy this with my own money test, which I'll also tell you about. All right, so getting the Mini Cooper John Works ED plug-in hybrid, longest name ever out on the road. It feels a lot like an X3. Kind of is the best comparison SUV I would give it to. Tight steering, very good. With the gas engine and electric powertrain, it's pretty good. It's pretty torquey. The brakes are pretty good. Suspension's very flat. On this one. This one is the S, I guess, or whatever, so that kind of makes sense. Very fuel efficient, as you'd imagine, with the plug-in hybrid, things like that. It's gonna be kind of a short drive review. It's just a nice little SUV to drive. It's sporty, it's fun, pretty comfortable too. I mean, you can definitely tell BMW had some role in the suspension tuning on this guy. It feels more BMW, which is a good compliment. It means it's premium yet also sporty than like a Mini Cooper might. Although Mini Coopers are pretty great too. So that's kind of all my thoughts. Now let me just kind of tell you how it compares to the competitors, and then kind of like would I buy it with my own money and things like that. All right, so first the competitors. I don't know, the things like the Hyundai Kona, kinda you can get all-wheel drive, but again, you can't get the plug-in hybrid, I believe, on that. I think there may be an electric Hyundai Kona, you know, planned or coming. So it's kind of like that. This is more luxurious, this is nicer, this is priced higher, it's a little bigger. Let me know down in the comments who you think the competitors are. I've probably driven them. I'm just not thinking of them. Would I buy this with my own money? Absolutely. Let me kind of explain why. The starting price of this is $36,500. That's a lot of SUV for that money, especially if you can count the maintenance plan being included. You know, I'd probably wait to get one CPO or certified pre-owned or whatever from Mini in a year or two. But you're kind of getting something that's very similar to an X3 here, just for, you know, a lot less money. There we go.
Next time, my speedy racers, drive on.